Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam Om Swastiastu, Wede Donten. Good morning, honorable judges. We are Arta team. It is our great honor to propose solution entitled Supply, Demand, and Social Value, a dynamic research allocation strategy for BRI MSME ecosystem. In this presentation, we will discuss how BRI can strategically allocate its resources to simultaneously strengthen the supply side, expand demand market, and fulfill its social mission in a sustainable manner. Micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMI, are the backbone of Indonesian economy. They represent approximately 99.7% of all business entities, contributes around 61% of the national gross domestic product, and provide employment for nearly 97% of Indonesian workforce. As the leader of Ultramicro Holding, BRI plays crucial roles in supporting MSMI to move to the next level development. It must also ensure that MSME can achieve sustainable growth through stronger market access and long-term competitiveness. This shows that financing is growing much faster than market access, increasing the risk of excess inventory, lower revenue, and non-performing loans. Beyond the market imbalance, BRI also faces a capacity challenge. Around 31,000 monthly serve more than 34 million borrowers, while handling loan service, business mentoring, digital education, and social programs. As a result, their time, expertise, and operational capacity has become BRI most limited resources.
After reviewing the above diagnosis, it's clear that BRI cannot choose between strengthening capacity and opening market access, a false dichotomy. The solution we offer is dynamic resource allocation. Resources are allocated according to the maturity level of each MSME, not a uniform national allocation. The concept is that leadership of the intervention or lead institution changes hands with the ultra-micro holding ecosystem. For the most basic level MSMEs, PNM and Pegadaian take the lead. For the middle and higher level, BRI Mantri and a special team take over. That directly addresses the problem we discussed earlier, the limited attention of the ministers, so that not all the burden has to be borne by one party. Before entering coaching, there is a crucial preconditioning stage, as incorrect initial screening can render the entire allocation strategy ineffective. This stage consists of the three steps. First, the search identifies MSMEs in the work area, including those that have not been touched by banks at all. Second, proactive screening maps the position of each MSME on the BRI class ladder, from the most basic to fully bankable. Third, cluster formation groups MSMEs based on region and similarities of business type, so that subsequent coaching can be carried out collectively, not one by one. This stage is carried out jointly by PNM, Pegadaian, and BRI Mantri to ensure that from the start, every MSME is directed to the right path. Operationally, we divide this strategy into three sequential phases. The first phase for MSMEs in stage F, E, and D that are not yet bankable is fully delegated to PNM, and Pegadaian Mantri BRI only plays a role as coordinator. In the second phase for stage C and B that are starting to be visible, BRI Mantri acts as a platform educator, directing MSMEs to BRIMO and Link UMKM. The third phase, for stage A and A+ that are fully bankable, the regional B2B teams take over the open market access and export. So, the role of the assistant is not lost but shift according to the pace from coordination to digital facilitation until finally being handed over to a specialist team.
Honorable Judges, moving to our second strategic solution to address the social value trilemma, we strongly recommend that BRI establish community economic resilience as its primary social priority, a concept we define as depth through resilience. We consciously reject the strategy of purebred expansion as it clearly contradicts the current selective corporate portfolio policy. We also evaluate that individual mentoring is highly inefficient for the 31,000 mantri who must serve tens of millions of customers. The most rational and measurable solution is to centralize empowerment collectively within the community cluster framework. This strategic approach brings both operational excellence and a highly robust financial justification. The establishment of the Regional Business-to-Business Task Force in Phase 3 does not require any in-flight budget injections. The operational funding for this team is purely sourced from the cost-to-serve efficiency gain from delegating Phase 1 to PNM and Pegadaian. Beyond cost efficiency, this community cluster system optimizes the working capacity of the mantri, mitigate defaults through the moral pressure among members, and creates a strong economy of scale to enable rural enterprises to serve the corporate market. We fully recognize that any large-scale operational change inevitably carries inherent risk. The primary structural risk of this proposal is the potential cultural resistance from the mantri workforce in the field due to role adjustment. To mitigate this potential friction, BRI must execute a comprehensive change management protocol. The Executive Board must provide clear emphasis to the frontline that this delegation of authority is not a temporary pilot program, but rather an integral part of a long-term organizational transformation aimed at balancing their future workload. In conclusion, injecting financing without simultaneously securing market access will only create an economic vacuum that ultimately jeopardizes the portfolio quality of the bank. Conversely, pursuing social inclusion without the foundation of business clusters will lead to operational paralysis for the frontline workforce. Through the implementation of dynamic resource allocation, BRI does not merely act as a lender. BRI will solidify its position as the primary architect of creating shared value. The corporate social mandate can proceed in harmony, striving to realize a resilient rural enterprise ecosystem toward Golden Indonesia 2045. Thank you.